residents of Vrindavana are astonished by them as shown by these verses. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Vadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Guru Sagra Chatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Dhale Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Payevacha Patitanam Avanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirbhisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is a very wonderful verse. Let's just read the translation once more. Dear Nanda, how is it that we and all the other residents of Praja cannot give up our constant affection for your son? And how it is that he is so spontaneously attracted to us? So this is a very wonderful verse to bring out the situation of Krishna. Like, everybody talks about God, right? But Janmashtami is not about God. It is about the love for the Supreme Person. And here this verse talks about the Lord's reciprocation. He says he spontaneously responds to the inhabitants of Praja. So it's not that, okay, only in Vrindavan he shows love and here it is not like that. So it's special for the gopis and the gopas and all the residents of Vrindavana because they rose up to that occasion. So the minute we also rise up to the occasion, the same thing is there, but to whatever extent we are doing, Krishna is reciprocated. See, that's the beauty of Krishna. So the residents of Vrindavan actually looked at him not as God. They looked at him as an object of love. And that is the mood that Prabhupada, or based on the teachings of the parampara, of the Gaudiya Madhva parampara, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted that to happen. There is always this ritualistic kind of a worship of the Lord which is there everywhere. Any street you go, you will find the ritualistic worship. Everybody will go, just stand there, quickly do one, they will just slap their chins and then just rush away looking at their whatever they are doing. And in the process, the only thing is, oh my Lord, I've seen many times people go in their bike and then just stand, even they're outside, they won't even get out from the chair, from the seat of the two-wheeler, quickly do this and then rush away, which is nice. Today, most people are atheistic. They are they think even putting this one is actually something which is very unscientific or very primitive. So doing this is very nice. So, but the point is that should actually lead us to go further and further and further, and that is actually what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to do. In this Kali Yuga, he is bringing us to this fact of how in Kali Yuga devotional life has to be done. And that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already initiated. It is happening last 550 odd years. And this is going to be the future of the next 10,000 years. So we are in the right place to understand the right aspects of spirituality, if I may call it. So let's discuss a little bit about this. Today we are all observing Janmashtami, right? Across the country, many people, thousands and lakhs of people are observing it. Particularly in India, by the grace of the Supreme of Srila Prabhupada, now it's gone all over the world. We all observe Ekadasi. How many of us observe Ekadasi here? Okay. So you know the benefits of Ekadasi. Now if I tell you, just today, you are going to get the benefit of 10 million Ekadasi. And if you are taking some austerities, like the levels of your austerity of following Ekadasi, it is going to become stronger. 10 million, just imagine in a year, how many Ekadasis do we follow? 54? 24? Twice a month. Okay, 24. And 24 is such a great thing. 10 million, Baba, just one Ekadasi. Sometimes we can't believe this, right? Come on. Then why do you follow even that one Ekadasi? If you believe that one Ekadasi is giving you power, Janmashtami is 10,000, 10 million Ekadasi is the words of the Shastra. So we should all really get so much of power now that we are following Ekadasi like this. Ekadasi is again not materialistic. That therefore I will get a lot of benefits. No, material benefits. This is giving us pure spiritual benefit. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. And the other thing what I heard was Emerald will close all our books. There is no Chitragupta writing our accounts. Because if you are following the path of self-realization, you may still be in sort of karma kanda. That is natural, right? We can't Pavanam Janmanamante. That means we have spent millions of years, millions of Janma trying to take up devotional life. And suddenly in one life we can't awaken like this and come. You can, but by and large it's like difficult. But the Lord is very merciful. He says, oh, this fellow has started the journey. So don't just measure his next life based on his karma alone. Yes, karma does have a play, but give him another human body only. So one who has taken up to Krishna consciousness, no more animal life. He gets That doesn't mean sun is born. And when sun disappears, it's not like sun has died. Sun is only disappeared from our eyes. So the Lord is like that. His appearance and disappearance is like that. Now, when Krishna comes, now let's look at the position of his mother Devaki. He's saying, oh Amma, you know, you have seen 6 of your child killed like this. 7th, of course, is a miscarriage. Balram. He was taken away from the womb and placed in the womb of Rohini. So outward world, it looks like she had a miscarriage, but she is the 7th. Balram is the 7th child of Devaki. Now comes with the 8th child. So he says, 6th child you have seen killed like anything, and you are so disturbed whenever you are having a childbirth. I didn't want you to give that trouble. I don't want to give that trouble to you. I am now come as in the Lord form itself, so that you are reassured that you know your son is God. So you should be now happy, nothing to worry. Now look at Devaki's situation. No, you should have actually come with 2 hands. He took so much effort to think I'm going to please my mother to come. Why he's asking? You know, he knows that this 8th child is going to kill, that will be God. And now you have come as God only. Now what will happen to you? Now you are such a small child. How will you survive? You know, you drop your 2 hands. Immediately 2 hands vanished. And that is the original Rupa of Krishna. You know, if you actually see the Vishwarup in Bhagavad Gita, he shows Vishwarup, right? After that, Arjuna is troubled so much. And then he says, oh Krishna, I don't want to see this. This is very ghastly. I can't handle this. Then he comes back to 4 arms. And then he says, this is also something which I am not comfortable seeing. Then he withdraws that also and says, this is what is my original form. He says, I want to see your original form. Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita says, and finally Krishna comes to his original form. So this is actually Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, who comes once in 8.6 billion years. There are so many incarnations which come, like, you know, many incarnations. They are godly, but Krishna is the original. The fountainhead, Prabhupada writes, fountainhead of Godhead. You not have heard that word anywhere else other than Prabhupada's books. Fountainhead of Godhead. There are so many gods, but the fountainhead, the source of all that God is Krishna. Now he comes there, and then he thinks, he thinks I can understand everything, but I cannot understand the heart of my pure devotee. When he thinks about his mother, that he comes as God, but she is not this one. So this happens, and he tells her actually, you know, he tells her and Vasudev, see, you are actually praying for me to be born as your child. You are taking so much of austerity. You are living only on leaves which have fallen from the trees for thousands of years. You did that kind of austerity to obtain me as your son. And you said you want me to become your son 3 times, that not once, 3 times. So this Krishna came earlier as Krishna's son. Krishna, some old name I forget very much. Second was Vamanadev. For them, the son, Prishti, right? He comes as first son, and the second is Vamanadev. Third one, of course, is Krishna. So third time he is born as Krishna. And so he says, therefore I have come for you. She says, all that is fine, but I am worried about Kamsa, I am worried about you. Now you drop those 2 hands, that is okay. Now you just vanish away also. Don't just drop those 2 hands, you also vanish. You don't even be here. Not just the 2 hands, you just vanish. So that you are happy, I am happy, and Kamsa is not happy. This is her mood. So Krishna says, okay, I have come here to be your son, and you are now saying you go. Okay, I will go. And then he says, Vasudeva. And Vasudeva says, yes, my Lord. Now Vasudeva's mood is not father, right? Lord. Even first they worship. And Vasudeva now is giving instruction to him, Vasudeva. You carry me out of this place, take me to Golok, to Nanda Baba. You take me to Nanda Baba. He is telling that. Now in this, you have to understand the situation of Vasudeva and Devaki. You know how are animals tied? Generally, in the neck or in the leg. You would have seen some animals tied in the leg. Like this, Vasudeva and Devaki were tied with shackles of iron. And they can just move around a little bit within that space of how much that thing, or one leg or one, whatever it is. In this situation, they are caged in a place which has one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, like this 16 doors. And outside each of those doors, there is a lion, Lion. Just in case they break open one of the doors, one line. Okay, even if that line is defeated on that door, the next door, next line, next door, next line, 16 like this. And on top of that, each door, there is a huge rock. If you move the door, it will fall on your head. Either way, you are finished. It's a very high class security, like prison, first class prison, they call that like that. Now, how is all this going to be shackled? This is something which we need to understand. What does those 16 doors represent? When you say 16, what do you remember? Yes. So someone may think 16 rounds of chanting or 16 rounds. So they think, we are caught up in the 16 rounds of chanting. We are in jail with the 16 rounds. No. Like Prabhu nicely said, the 16 represents the 5 of senses which are knowledge acquiring, and then the 5 working senses and the 5 elements, and on top of all of that is the mind. So it basically talks about our the human body or any body, material body. So the idea is you need to actually get out of these 16 aspects to be situated in a pure soul concept. So that is what is being talked about, the 16 doors. And this task is being given to Vasudeva. So, like, can you just give someone a task that you are in such a shackles, and now you just break all these things and go? So practically, who can perform such a task? Can I or you do this thing? After being in jail for so many years and you have lost your children, actually, when each of the child was killed, before the 6th child was killed, the Lord put Devaki in a kind of a yoga maya. So she actually did not see the children being killed. But Vasudeva saw each of the child being killed. How much courage you need to have such a thing. And he already had a earlier one. If you see this Kamsa, he said, I will kill. Initially, right? When he was coming in this chariot and all that. And he had the very absolute courage to stop this fellow Kamsa and then do some, what do you call, what do you use that word, this mediation or whatever you call that. Negotiation, all that, right? This is diplomacy. He did nice diplomacy and ensured to save that situation. Such a courageous man, and it requires a man of his courage to perform an act like this. This is very important. Now, as Vasudeva, now Vasudeva has been given this instruction: you take me out. So Vasudeva is saying, "Okay, I will do it, my Lord." Next minute, he sees this child. And he's having suddenly developed this parental love, and he takes the child in a very, very soft manner. He has a nice soft, what do you call the clothes that is there. He has some kind of a container, and then inside that soft thing he puts. Earlier stanza was, I'm speaking from Bhagavad. Earlier stanza, the earlier line refers to the Lord as the child as Lord. Next one it becomes Sutam. Sutam means son. How the transformation happens from 4-handed to 2-handed to from Lord to Son. This mood you have to capture. The Acharyas are very beautifully contrasting all this and showing this. So he actually becomes a child in their mind. And then at that point in time, the minute when he does this, few things happen. Yoga Maya is immediately born in Gokula. Gokula Yogamaya is born as a girl to Devaki. So that's the minute Yogamaya is born, then all the other things starts happening. Immediately these leg shackles opens up. Okay? Then second thing what happens is the doorkeepers go to sleep. The shackles open, doorkeepers go to sleep, and third was doors open. Now how do you understand this? Okay, this is, as I said, okay, this is statement of fact. Shackles break. So Krishna, little Krishna can show like this, or any cartoon can show, or any movie can show this. But how do you understand this aspect of it? So, the shackles broken is what is like, for us, the shackles of birth, death and old age is broken. This is the meaning of one who's actually trying to carry Krishna. You understand this? Vasudeva is carrying Krishna and shackles break. So if you and I carry Krishna in our heart, the repeated cycle of birth, death and old age is gone. This is the first point. The second one, doorkeepers fall asleep. So when you are carrying Krishna going forward, what happens is, who are the doorkeepers from our perspective? The six aspects: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madhav, Matsarya. Those things are actually going to sleep. That means the minute you take up Krishna's service, all of these things goes away. This is not something, that's why we say, don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. Why do we say you simply chant and think? If you say, I'm a smoker, I'm a drinker, none of us do here from what I saw many of your Ekadasi. But generally, how do I stop smoking? How do I stop drinking? All these people ask this. You don't bother about all this. You simply say, you do some service to Krishna. Like, you say, no, once you keep pouring water in a muddy water, you keep on pouring, after some time all the mud gets out and the pure water remains. Simple concept. If you simply engage in Krishna consciousness, you don't know when you stop smoking, when you stop drinking, when you stop eating meat. You have practically seen this. That's what is mentioned here. All of this Krodha, Moha, Madha, Matsarya, everything goes. But we need to make a little endeavor to do this. And that's what has been mentioned. And last one is doors opening. What does that signify? When you carry Krishna, the doors of Vaikuntha and Goloka open for you and me. Beautiful, right? It's very beautiful. Acharyas, amazing. So now you remember, Vasudeva is the carrier of Krishna. You and I are also carrier if we can carry Krishna in our heart, and we will get these three benefits. Simple. Of course, you can, when you say use your senses, carrying Krishna, what do you mean by simply carrying Krishna in my heart? That reverberates through all of our senses, right? The tongue, the nose, the ears, then the hands, the legs. I can go on explaining all these things, but due to paucity of time, maybe 11:15, we may have to stop. So I'll go on with further things. So if you use all your senses in the service of Krishna, you are carrying Vasudeva. Now, one thing we should remember, this is a lighter sense. When Krishna is going, what happened? All these fellows fell asleep. Now, if you see for us also, when we hear Krishna Katha, we fall asleep. That means when Krishna is coming, you are sleeping. Just imagine every Bhagavatam class. Right? It's actually a big joke in ISKCON. When Bhagavatam class is happening, we are sleeping. So when Krishna is coming, we are sleeping. So whose side are you in? Kamsa's side or you are in Vasudeva's side? Right? See, when Vasudeva is coming with Krishna, or you are going with Krishna, if you are sleeping, you are Kamsa's side. Right? The acharyas, amazing, mind-boggling. Does it ever strike us like this? So, so we need to be very careful when Krishna Katha is happening. We need to try not to sleep, we should receive Krishna. Anyway, so these fellows left off, Krishna is, Vasudeva is going. And then when Krishna is going, it is sunlight. Krishna is none other than, it's mentioned in this one verse, Krishna's Swayam, there's one more. Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is, so now when the light comes in the morning, how does it come? All of a sudden you don't see 12 o'clock when 6 o'clock in the morning, you don't feel suddenly light has come everywhere. You see slightly light comes. What the next person you are not able to see at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4:35, you can slowly start seeing the person. As sun comes in, that this is disappeared. Like this, as Krishna goes, one by one the doors open. It's not like suddenly every door open. So this is equated also beautifully. Krishna is like the sun, and many things have been given, the sun and this is equated. Sun comes without sound. Krishna doesn't, when the sun doesn't comes with a lot of sound, is it come like this? Sun is very powerful. A hero comes, how is he introduced? With so much of music. But sun comes every day so beautifully without any music. So when Krishna is coming, there is no sound at all. It's very nicely said. And because of Krishna coming, the doors one by one open. That means the ignorance is gone and the doors open up. So that is very beautifully given. And then once Krishna comes out, comes out, all of this 16 doors, does it get over? That he can now go to Goloka, what do you call, Nanda Baba's house by taking Ola or Uber or something like that. He has to walk all the way, and it's like he has to cross Yamuna, so many things. But in that process, rain starts coming. Why rain has to come? The Supreme Lord is coming, and why to drench it like this? Our mind goes like this. It's very difficult for Krishna also, no? Karma. Right? Acharyas are very beautiful explanation. The Acharyas are saying, when rain comes, people from outside get inside the home. People from inside don't want to come out. Those who are already caught up in things, they say, nice rain, it's very nice, give me a cup of coffee or some nice veggie or something, I will go for sleep. That is there. And when rain is there, generally you will need a wiper, right? Why you have a wiper? You can't see properly. Now when rain is there, they really can't see who's coming, who's going. That is one more reason. So many reasons the Acharyas are giving. And most importantly, there cannot be any sound. When supposing you are walking, your voice, your sound cannot be heard when the rain is there. Therefore, all this is happening, that the rain is happening. There are other reasons. This is all external reasons. Whatever I have said, I'm rushing through because I can see but this is to be really relished. This is external reasons. What are the internal reasons why rain is coming? 5 reasons. I will give you 5 reasons. For external reasons, I will give you 5 internal reasons why rain has come. Some acharyas are writing the cloud is what color? Bluish black, which is Krishna's color. Now, cloud is becoming over enthusiastic. He's so happy, ecstatic. This Krishna, 1 in 8.6 billion years, that Lord is coming and he's taken my color. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And he started crying. And that comes down as water. This is one Acharya explaining like that. The rain is coming because the clouds is ecstatic. Meghashyama, right? Krishna is Meghashyama. Anytime Krishna comes, it's Meghashyama, right? So the cloud is glorified because of Meghashyama. And there he feels so happy, he's pouring. Second is, he read this verse somewhere, Patram Pushpam Halam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayasiti. He says he does not have flower, he does not have Patram, he does not have Pushpam. He says, okay, I will only give Toyam. So he immediately melts into water. The cloud melts into water and comes in as Toyam for the Lord. He wants to please the Lord like this. And then the third thing is, that time only this science of, they have already found out how rains are formed. This is one proof for maybe, not that we only found out evaporation happens on that. That time only it is already there. The Acharyas are saying, see, it is not because of the rain, but because of the ocean. The ocean, ocean has, whose father is ocean? Lakshmi. Now, Lakshmi Devi is ocean's daughter, and ocean knows who is this child. Therefore, this is my son-in-law. Right? This is my son-in-law, and therefore I need to honor him. And therefore he is taking, okay, now I know this, from him it evaporates and becomes the cloud, and then he is requesting the cloud, you please pour water and then offer to my son-in-law. Because he is shy, he doesn't want to directly do it, so he is requesting, rain, you do it, you do the service for me, please, for my son-in-law. That way. So that one is the other reason given. And the rain also feels, this child has taken milk from Devaki, and now he is going to Yashoda Mai for the next milk. Now, after taking milk, little mouth and this child, it's fully whatever, So he says, let me give a nice bath to this child. Just you all did right. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Every one of us did that. Rain wants to do Govindamadi Purusham by giving nice bath to Krishna. So that is one more reason. So like this is happening. So we need to understand. So this happens post that he goes to Nanda Baba's home and then somehow manages to keep the child there, and then by the time the child is born, actually there is also two things, it's not like only a girl child was born. There's a girl child as well as a boy child, and that is also Krishna. So Yashoda also had a Krishna appearing for her, and then when this child goes, both these child merge together and becomes only one Krishna. And this lady, that child, the girl child, Vasudeva brings her back, and then further stuff. So this is so a thing about the very little of appearance of Lord Krishna, that day what happened, whatever time, 12 to whatever time that happened. Now we need to understand, okay, this is all nice, but how that this knowledge is going to transform for us into real application. And just imagine, therefore the position of Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada was a very, very powerful personality. Actually, it was, I heard a thing which, I heard this from this old Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So he mentioned, Prabhupada actually wanted to come on Janmashtami day, that means his appearance day. And because of his respect for Krishna, he appeared the next day. And also his Senapati Bhakta, he immediately comes. As soon as Krishna comes, he wants to come and immediately start his work. He comes back immediately, he comes. And then he's taken so much austerity to come and use Krishna consciousness to all the world, all of this world. This is mind-boggling that Prabhupada, whatever he has done, and he has brought this Janmashtami to every home and village across the globe, not just in India. All over the world, we are celebrating Janmashtami today. The president sends a big note. You are celebrating so much Janmashtami in India and abroad and all of this. And every government is recognizing this one, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And by his mercy, we are able to celebrate Janmashtami like this. And we Indians actually could have missed this Prabhupada's mercy. You know what happened? His spiritual master said, you go to the Western world and preach Krishna consciousness. And very short time he had, so he would have, ideally English speaking crowd, you go and preach very hard there. While he was doing this thing, there is a turn of events. He was in New York. The deity there, Rukmini Dwarakana, Rukmini Dwarakana deities, they appeared to Prabhupada and said, you should go to India and preach. So his spiritual master says, you go to the Western preach. He goes there, initiates that moment. Next one comes. The Lord tells you go to India and preach. And because of that, you and I are today enjoying not just the physical Janmashtami which we were doing even earlier. But today our outlook of Krishna Janmashtami has changed a million times, right? That's something which we have experienced, all of us as devotees. This is real Janmashtami. That means Krishna situated in our heart, not externally in some uyal or somewhere where he coming inside your heart is actual true Janmashtami, not the external Janmashtami, internal Janmashtami. And that can happen every day the more we take to it. But this is something like an inspiration. Like all of us get the joke. Yes, next 1 year I will really run like this. So that is the mood. And so we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada. We are very grateful to the entire Acharya for nicely explaining all of these things and then helping us. So let's meditate on this aspect of Krishna's appearance, not an ordinary child, not even a god, not even a demigod or a god, or a very powerful god. He is the supreme personality of God. And it is not simply ritualistic thing, it is love for that person. I don't care whether you are God or you are not. I don't really care. That's the end game of Krishna consciousness. I simply love you. We know, I don't see the good and bad in you. There is no bad, that's another thing. But assuming there is bad, I don't care. That is the mood in which we are supposed to develop our Krishna consciousness. So I will stop here. If there are any comments, any questions, we can take, and otherwise we can close the chapter. If there are any comments, maybe many Vaishnavas are seeing anything if you want to share, most welcome. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we will end here with all your permission. Thank you all. Gratra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Gaurabhakta Premanande, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Let us all thank Vidhura Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.